Alrighty, and we're live. What's up, everybody? I am with the main man, Mick, out in the field for Modern Explorers Live. I'm Jay. Thanks for joining us. And Mick, where are you today? Because I think I got to change your title.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Vrang something, isn't it?
Vrångstad over
This is my.
Gravhold. We're gonna have to copy and paste that one.
That
There's
sounds
key.
right.
Yeah.
Forgive me. I mean, this is my fourth site today, so I'm and the Swedish names is made a bit of a mess of my head. But we're in Sweden in a really beautiful place. I say me. I'm on my own. I'm so used to saying we. It's quite windy up here. It looks very sunny and beautiful, but it's windy, so I'm gonna keep this hood up and try and stop all the wind noises. But we're at a site. I'm at a site that I'm going to call it a complex. There's all sorts of stuff here. You can see this behind me, which is where we're going to start looking first. You can see 4 stones standing up, but there's also one on the ground, and there's loads of mounds behind it. So there's lots of grave sites. There's this structure. There's a dolmen. There's 2 stone circles. There's 2 standing stones down the hill just here that we're going to look at, and tons of mounds. And there's also the carvings that we talked about in yesterday's live stream. So there's not many. It's one race, and there's only 3 different things on it. We'll talk about that in a minute, Jake, because I'm sure you'll get yourself together. But you've got photos of those.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, where you can.
Yeah. So I guess, that's where we're at. First, thank you to people who commented yesterday. I'll say this and get this out of the way, and then we can just carry on and look at the site. But had some great comments on yesterday's live stream and some great recommendations. I'm actually going to go to 2 of the places tomorrow, but it's further towards the center of Sweden, the recommendations, and I wanted to quickly show this as our last site on the west coast. So Sweden is absolutely covered in megaliths. It's quite extraordinary, actually. I didn't know how many. And as I said yesterday, I would say that the density of them is comparable to Brittany, which is supposed to be the most dense or densely populated area for megaliths in the world, and Sweden's got to be close to it. For example, I went to a dolmen, just a 10-minute drive from that stone ship I went to last night. And we can talk about that as well. There's some walking between sites. So basically what I wanted to do is, while I was walking between these little sites on this complex, we can cover the sites I saw earlier today, Jay. So start here with this one. This is officially, let's undo that, a grave. You do have a photo of this.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you,
I'm going to mess with your bandwidth and try to bump it up. See if you get a little sharper picture quality here.
Yeah, I'm in the best place. We were having problems with the internet, and so I was trying to upload photos and all of this kind of thing. It's in quite a isolated area, and so it's pretty poor. But I'm in the best place for it now. So when we go down around the hill, Jay, you'll probably need to do some fiddling with. One thing I want to say is
it's coming through. It's coming through.
Good. So as I said, 4 stones standing up. You can see some kind of flat-looking surfaces on some of them, like that one there. But again, it's not perfect, so I'm not going to claim anything like that was done by a saw or anything. Some machine. You never know. I'm going to come the other side because the sun's probably not doing any favors to us there. But you can see how I talk about the L shape carved out of stones. Well, this is the first time I've seen like a double-edged version of that you can see this.
Oh wow.
L and then an L, so it looks kind of deliberate. Same kind of stone we've been seeing all over the place. It's this red. You can see the pink quartz in it here, like loads of crystals in there. And looking at the bedrock in this area, again, when we walk over in this direction, which is where some of the other sites are, I'll show you the bedrock, and it's the same. So it's a local stone. Whatever they're using to build these structures is definitely local. I'll quickly show. You've got photos of all of this, Jay. You should have, I think. You can see this one is out of line, these three are completely, in a line, and then there's this one out on the side. And if you look at the drone footage I took earlier, this, when I was looking at it anyway and just flying it around, I could imagine this being a ship. So I was imagining, like an end stone there and an end stone here. Right. Again, on the drone, you probably see that better. But yeah, so I'm not sure what this structure would have looked like. Obviously there's that stone there's lying down, but maybe lots of the other stones have gone missing.
Yeah.
And I'll show you the mounds keep going on and on till the end there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 7 in a row. But I'm not going to walk all over that way because that's in the opposite direction of the rest of them, but you'll be able to see the mounds here. So there's probably bodies in here, I would imagine. We talk about layers of history. You've got to imagine that under these mounds.
And they found they found rings, right? Like metal rings.
Yeah, there. You can see there's a couple. There's lots of signs, so they're good with their information. And there's been 3 signs so far where they talk about. Yeah, there's 2. They're bracelets, I think, aren't they? Maybe, but I can't remember actually. But because I was doing things in a hurry, and and there's some pottery, isn't there? But yeah, so this is. I think this is just known as a grave.
This one is. Now you sent me footage of 2 rings side by side, 2 circles next to each other.
Yeah. So they're the stone circles.
Okay.
No, yeah, that's this site, this complex. We're going to go to them in like 5 minutes or something. They're basically down this hill here. So down here, there's 2 stone circles. Over in this direction, about 500 meters, there's a dolmen down the hill there. So we're at the top of the hill at the minute. So there's a dolmen here-ish, 2 stone circles here-ish. And then we're going to walk over here now, and we're going to come to lots more mounds.
Right.
And
so you're at the circle.
You've got photos. Yeah, I guess
I can't
remember what it was called on the map.
Map pulled up, and it is spread out. I mean, it's pretty big. I see that.
Yeah, well, it's 600 meters according to the sign. So I'm not sure what the scale is on there. For example, we were walking. This was what I was saying about the bedrock. You can see it's the same pink quartz sort of stone, and this one here. Same again, very pink, full of crystals. But I've got to walk about 100 meters that way, so I'm not sure if there's anyone chatting. Hopefully some people have joined us. I put the word out this morning. But
yeah, just a shout out to Bab in the World, who said, "Hey, happy to see you live." Hello, Mick and Jay. Hello.
Very nice. Cool.
All right. Yeah,
he's from France. He's still in France.
This is not too bad. But it is definitely...
Okay, we're going to get into weaker internet connection soon, I think.
All right. I'm going to limit you for a second while we try to stay connected there. And just a little history about this place. Let's see what they have on the information. More than 60 mounds, over 10 standing stones still remain. Let's see. There's some in the woods.
How many mounds?
60. More than 60. And 10 standing stones. So there's those stones you saw and then a few more scattered about.
Well, you'll be able to see, I'm not sure how good the resolution is and everything, but I'll try and hold it still. There's 2 just in front of me, about 70 or 80 meters. Mm-hmm. I'll stop and then we can talk about the 2 sites I went to earlier while we've still got a relatively good connection.
Yeah, but there's within 10 kilometers, you're looking at over 24 sites easily.
Right.
Carvings, graves, tombs, cairns, dolmen. There's a dolmen 10 clicks to the north.
Well, we can have a look at the... if you look on the Google Drive and in the folder that was labeled carvings, you'll see the carvings are across the road. I'm not going to go there there's no point really because they were so limited. The carvings are just about here. So as I said, we've got more or less everything in this area. We've got standing stones, circles, dolmen, cairns, carvings.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually a really quite impressive site. I'm going to take my hoodie off because I'm baking hot now. But I think this would be a mound. You said 60 mounds. There's one here.
There's a carving of a ship in the bedrock. You can tell that's a ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a drone.
And there's what they call that.
Drone up.
Yeah. Do you know what that's called?
No.
That's a cart.
No.
It's a cart.
No. Those are helicopter wheels.
Cart.
No, those are alien-powered helicopter propellers.
Yeah.
They had drones back then.
And then there's also like 35 little cut marks or something, tiny little, well, they're called cut marks, aren't they? I don't know how to describe them really, but they're tiny.
Yeah.
It's the smallest I've ever seen. We do get these at megaliths around Europe, but
ship, the wagon, and the cut
so this
marks.
is. You can see these two stones here, and again, I look at that and I think, well, that's just probably another little ship. Those are the two end stones, and all of the smaller ones have been taken or removed, or basically that, I would think. But it could be. I'm not saying definitely, but that's what I thought of when I first saw this. These are the biggest mounds. In fact, that one right there is the biggest mound.
That could have been a ship once. But,
I mean, it could be, right? Because the ships seem to have the two tallest stones on the end. But I don't know. I'm hypothesizing. I've got no idea.
Oh,
really.
It's wild though. So they haven't excavated that, or did they?
I don't think so. So there was one. Funny enough, that brings us onto the first site, because if you go to the dolmen I went to this morning that begins with M, I'm going to put the camera down and come in front of it.
Here, let me switch.
Can you see the stones all right in the background?
Yeah, just great.
I'll just sit here. So that dolmen I went to this morning, actually, funny enough, it said it's called a passage grave, and they call it a grave, but it even says on the sign, which I took a photo of in the same folder, that they haven't done any excavating there.
Huh.
So they say, I think it says possibly a grave or something.
Okay.
But there was some really interesting stuff at that dolmen. I can't see what you're showing, Jay. So
okay, we're looking at the photo of it.
Okay, right, cool. Because there's two stones that are offset from the dolmen about 3 or 4 meters. One of them has got these lines of crystal going through it, and another one is a really deliberate shape. So I found that quite interesting about this dolmen. Again, it's completely reminded me of all of the dolmen I've seen in Spain, Bulgaria, like all across Europe, France, England, like very similar style, the rock. The lines of crystal. Yeah, the lines of crystal. I've only seen at one other place, at Odry, it's Leszno, which was next to Odry in Poland. But that capstone is probably about 5 tons. Size, dude. And I think there's 4 uprights. It's going to be it made me laugh because they're so adamant that these things are passage graves and that there's graves there, but they very rarely find bodies, which is, if I was to call something a grave, I'd want to see more evidence of a body.
Yeah, they call it a passage grave, but it does say very clearly that the passage grave is not excavated. It's not excavated at all, but it probably contains the remains of people. Or something happened while people were in them, Like how far down are they
that's what
usually?
we said. And that's my issue with carbon dating. Like, if you find some organic material, which is what you need to carbon date at one of these sites, how do you know that that's the builders?
Right.
If I died at this site now and they found my...
Uh-oh. We might have lost Mick. That sounds like a dead battery. And if so, we may have to cut this one short. I'll reach out to him to just find out quickly. But at least we got a little bit out here. We can work through some of these pictures. Because wow, look at the dolmen. They're always so short, you know. We also need to, I guess if this wasn't excavated. There you go. Cool. I wasn't sure if your battery is dead. If this wasn't excavated, does that mean... Does that mean it wasn't reconstructed?
I'm just going to move my phone overheated. It was just sat there in the sun. So I'm going to move to the other side in the shade.
No worries. We'll get that problem sorted for the next one. So, do you know if this dolmen was reconstructed or not?
I don't know. I don't think so. But
if it wasn't excavated,
there was a sign there. You know, the tourist board have made efforts. There was a tiny little parking lot, and
yeah, it says that the passage grave is not excavated, but probably contains the remains of many people. So my question is this the original look of it? I mean, is this the way it was? Also, wow, is that to imply that it is that high up? Is that the elevation? Ooh, that Swedish sun must be toasty.
Sorry, man. All right, that should be good. Am I back?
You're back. But we are going to have to wrap it up.
Right, I'm in the shade now. Yeah. So you see all these mounds and the stones, and then you can the two circles, the rings that I sent you, the photos, as I said, they're the stone circles that are off in that direction. It's quite interesting because the second site I visited today was a stone circle, and on the sign there it says that it was a grave, and that the graves usually have 9, 11, or 13 stones. Again, I took a photo of the sign, if you can find that, Jay, or maybe it said 7, 9, 11, 13 or something, and it said it always has these.
Let's see if we can find that. 9, 11, and 13 stones. Could be this one. Drone shots. Here it is. Judge's rings. This grave type is called a judge's ring. Interesting. The grave type is called a judge's ring, and people believe that the graves were courts where the judges sat on the stones. You imagine that, sitting on one of those stones while everybody decides how to set your fate.
Yeah, that's
it. Would you just be in the middle? You'd be in the middle, and everybody would be around you, so you wouldn't know which way to look. Very uncomfortable. They're actually graves from the Iron Age, about 2,000 years old. Well, that math seems off from what we've read elsewhere. This one is 9 meters in diameter.
There's a sign. Can you hear me, mate? Sorry, in my back.
I can hear you.
The two circles through that tree, there's the drone shots and photos. There's a sign also says that there's 12 and 8 stones. So there's one sign about 5 minutes from here that says they always come with 7, 9, 11.
Right. Usually they have 7, 9, 11, or 13 stones, 9 being the most usual. And then sometimes there are some small burial gifts, such as a knife, a whetstone, or a distaff for a woman. That's really interesting. Clay pot contains charred remains of the dead, so they were cremating. Or, burning. Very cool. And I think that's going to have to probably be where we start to call it. I want to thank everybody for watching. Oh, man. Yeah, I think we're going to have to wrap it up. But Sue Purvis is here. Jay, long time. Hey, nice. Yes, it is. Hi, Sue. Good to see you. Rock formations are everywhere, even outside my apartment where I lived in Oxel Sound by the Baltic Sea. Wow, that's really cool.
Oh, that's Robin.
That's Sue Purvis.
Hopefully, he's hopefully going to join me on some sites later on. I think that's.
And then, Bab in the World, nice site, nice weather. It seems so nice and interesting. Like always, enjoy your trip there. Excuse me. Oh. Well, that's just great that we were able to get something going. I know this took we were a little late to start than we had hoped, and we kind of ran out of time, but at least we were able to show it. Mick's gone cold again. All right. Thank you, everybody. This has been killer. It's been great having you all, and we will try to be on again very soon. The next one of these will be hopefully tomorrow. We'll see if we can get one in the next 24 hours going. Mick's back. All right. Yeah, just wrapping it up.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. I'm sorry. Yeah, man, my phone is playing fucking silly buggers. I'll call it down. I'll find some way of keeping it cool. I'm surprised it did this.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. This is a beautiful site. I'll be putting stuff on Instagram about it as well if people want to look at that later.
That's right, and you can find all of our socials at modernexplorers.co.uk.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bud.
Technology didn't want us to do this today. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, you're out there.
Just fighting technology all fucking day. Yeah, true. All right. Well, I'm probably going to get kicked off again for being overheating. So thanks, guys. Yeah, we'll do the same tomorrow, hopefully.
Sounds good to me. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. As always, leave your comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. Follow us for all of our updates and information. And we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.